What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Montyverse. Today, we are checking out The Last of Us, Episode 3. And I've been really digging this series so far. Nikki, what about you?
I've been very pleasantly surprised by it. I shouldn't say, I had low expectations, but just knowing nothing about it, I've been very, very impressed with it so far.
I'm excited. This episode brings us Nick Offerman as Bill. So I'm super excited to check that out. And we're going to be starting it right about now. Oh, okay.
Oh, so
No prologue.
No cold open.
Man, those cold opens have been pretty great, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious now. I'm really curious. So this episode already feels different from the last two. I mean, I'm never gonna not like this opening. I think this is brilliant, the way they did this. It's daughter and daddy. Daddy Pedro. We're jumping right into the daddy plot this episode. That's Joel. You can tell from his knuckles and his watch. I think he's making a grave for Tess.
Maybe.
You want your jacket back?
Well, he gave her jacket. He gave her his jacket.
What happened to the sandwich?
Look, I've been thinking
I
about...
want your sorries.
I wasn't gonna say I'm sorry. I was gonna say that I've been thinking about what happened. Nobody made you or Tess take me. Nobody made you go along with this plan. You needed a truck battery or whatever, and you made a choice. So don't blame me for something that isn't my fault.
Damn. Ellie got balls.
5-hour hike.
Jesus.
We can manage that.
I'm getting tired just thinking about hiking for 5 hours.
I was gonna say, that's very doable, it just doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, but keep in mind, 5-hour hike after they just spent the previous day fighting clickers, but like earlier that day fighting clickers, and watching one of their friends, Anna Torv, get blowed up. Torv team. I love how she's not even in the show anymore, and to keep finding ways.
You know, seeing as it's just the two of us, I was thinking I should
She really wants a gun, huh?
Bring back a minute. I gotta grab some stuff I stashed.
Stashed? Why do you have stuff stashed here?
You ask a lot of goddamn questions.
I do.
I am, because...
No way. You ever play this one?
Mortal
I
Kombat.
told you everything about this game. You forgot where you put your stuff.
No,
Is there anything bad in here?
just you.
Ah, getting funnier.
Jump scare?
I hope not.
You all right back there?
Yeah.
Where could you have hid this stuff? Joel is either very good or very bad at hiding.
This stuff, at the very least, is very good at hiding.
I guess he's not a clicker.
No.
Or is he? Someone's gotta I gotta talk to our good friend John Lustrina.
My assumption is it has to have, the thing, growing totally out of their head. But I wouldn't even say halfway. It's not even half his head. Or never mind.
That's like half his head.
It's just not as large as it is on on the actual clickers,
Can
though.
we just appreciate the VFX team and the makeup team? Look at that guy's practical makeup effects. So good. Get
Oh,
out of
God.
there, girl.
I mean, that's probably smart, but I wouldn't have the balls to do it myself.
Ugh. Look at that. Look at that fungi.
I mean, I'm guessing she was also just doing it to put him out of his misery.
Yeah, and also to rack one up, right? She asked Joel if he ever killed anyone else. She did too. I think there was also hate in her eyes. I don't think it was just to put him down. I think there's definitely some darkness there.
Oh yeah, how could you not? Just even living in this universe.
We really don't know much about Ellie, to be honest with you.
No. All we know is that she basically hasn't turned.
Buy one of those?
A few times, sure.
So lucky.
Didn't feel like it at the time. Get shoved into a middle seat, pay $12 for a sandwich.
Dude, you got to go up in
That is actually pretty cool, right?
I mean, certainly something we take for granted now.
If you have to get bit to be infected, then who bit the first person? Was it a monkey? I bet it was a monkey.
It wasn't a monkey. I thought you went to school.
Federal school? Teaches how their shitty government failed to prevent a pandemic.
Then they started biting.
Damn, the world ended on a weekend?
September 26, 2003.
What a way to go out.
Makes more sense than monkeys. Thanks.
Also, what a wonder this is right now.
Sure.
So good. But again, they're good. They're so dang good.
What?
Oh, man. It's a lot of skulls.
Told you were going to a QZ, and you were. If there was room.
Oh, God.
If there wasn't.
Execution. Oh my God, that's a baby skeleton. Oh my God, that's the baby. So this looks like it's Bill, right? This looks like Nick Offerman.
Not today, you New World Order jackboot fucks.
Alright, I can tell I'm already gonna like Bill. Oh my God, so Bill must be like, what are
Like
those people called?
a survivalist.
Doomsday prepper, like... Damn, he's got a nice little wine rack going on, too.
I mean, he's good for at least a good number of years.
I love the contrast of him in full tactical gear and then just an empty suburbia.
That's like the crazy thing about it is like there are actual people that are like this who in this scenario would actually be prepared.
Everything they do is
as unlikely as you want to believe it is.
But yet everything they do in this universe is justified. Because look at Bill.
I mean, that's smart though. Might as well take advantage.
That's smart. Bill is smart. Gas first. Then Home Depot. Look at this. Light bulbs. Water.
That's literally what I was about to think though. What about like when they shut down electricity?
Yeah, but he was prepared for it.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out. Man went to go pick up more wine. Yo, good on Bill,
nice.
man. Guy's making a nice liver over there.
Yeah.
Or is that heart? Or it might just be a steak. I don't know.
Oh.
I can't see very well. Okay, yeah.
It's a steak.
It's a steak.
Man. I wish I had motivation to develop these kind of skills.
As someone who watched Parks and Rec, is Bill just Ron Swanson? Is Bill just alternate universe Ron Swanson? Man, look at that! Look at the different like levels of infection. Oh!
Oh!
Damn.
It doesn't get old.
Alright, like I said, I really like Bill.
Yeah.
The heartbreak I suffered from losing Anna Torv is replaced with the love I now have for Bill. Damn, so Bill put up a retractable fence?
I mean, I'm sure he had a lot of time on his hands. Not many people to share resources with.
Okay, so now at least we know why we didn't get a cold open this episode. Because the present leads us into the cold open, which leads us into our present day story with Bill. Again, pretty damn cool. Wait, so this isn't present day, this is just 4 years later.
Yeah, so 2007 at this point.
Gotcha, okay.
I'm not infected.
Are you armed?
No,
Why did you take that long to answer?
I don't know.
Oh, damn, he's got a reader, too.
How'd you get that?
Bill's been on some adventures.
First, my name's Frank.
Oh, yeah? Here's the thing, Frank. If I feed you, then every bum you talk to about it is gonna show up here looking for a free lunch. And this is not an Arby's.
Well, Arby's didn't have free lunch. It was a restaurant.
I left some clothes here for you.
What?
Clothes.
Thank you. Almost done.
This just turned into a rom-com?
Can I have 5 more minutes?
Sure. Sure.
Oh man, in this kind of world, you would definitely savor any moment you could be in hot water.
Yeah, and also, like, friendship, right?
Oh yeah, any kind of camaraderie at this point.
Imagine living alone for 4 years, just in complete silence and isolation.
I would say yes, but I do wonder, like, with his kind of overzealous survivalist mindset, he at least was, like, kind of mentally prepared for that, at least. But at the same time, that is very intense to deal with.
What is going on?
I mean, like you said, for Bill, at least, it's very weird to interact with another person right now. What is it also with people who just sit at, like, extreme ends of the table? I never understood that.
It reminds me of Batman 89, where Keaton and Vicky Vale sat on the opposite ends of that very comically long table.
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
Everything tastes good when you're starving.
Yeah, but not like this. A man who knows to pair rabbit with a Beaujolais.
Oh, it's rabbit,
No,
okay.
I don't seem like the type.
No, you do.
Oh.
There is more.
No, I can't. I want to, believe me, but... Whew. Oh, thank you. But first...
This guy is so peppy.
The whole time.
Is it a piano?
Antique?
I knew it.
1948.
Wow. You know how much these are worth?
Currently nothing.
For someone who I'm presuming hasn't had practice in years, he sounds very good.
You're right.
Okay, never mind.
Never mind. Never mind. And I love...
They have a great
The
dynamic.
dynamic is so... I'm so invested already. Props to the casting department.
I was gonna say, because I have no idea who the hell Frank is.
It's Murray Bartlett is the actor.
I don't know who that is, though.
Fair enough.
But again, props to him just on this
Love
alone.
will abide. Take things in stride.
Has Offerman always been able to sing?
Pretty sure. Pretty sure he's very musically gifted. That was beautiful. It was so tender compared to Frank's version.
I mean, hey, he still did better than I could.
No, I'm just saying that he went for a more tender version.
Mm.
So, who's the girl?
Mm.
Girl you're singing about?
There is no girl.
Oh, it is a rom-com. Well, I guess not a com, but it is a rom.
I mean, to be fair, there's calm elements to it.
Yeah.
Because Frank, again, is just so upbeat in comparison.
If I was Bill, I probably wouldn't shower with a strange man in my house during the apocalypse. But, you know.
I mean, at this point, it's like, what else is there?
Fair enough.
Like, the first person, at least in 4 years, he's had a genuine connection with.
This is so beautiful.
Have you ever done this before? Not with anyone?
With a girl a long time ago. But...
So, I'm going to start with the simple things.
Okay.
But before I do, I want you to know that I'm not a whore. I don't
have sacks for lunches. Not even great ones. So if I do this, I'm gonna stay for a few more days. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, fuck you! Come on! Hey! Would you stop?
Do I ask for things?
Ever?
Oh.
Why am I even saying that? This
Now
isn't for
we're
me.
into
This
regular
is for
relationship
us.
territory.
Who cares what they look like?
I do. I live in this world. You live in a psycho bunker where 9/11 was an inside job and the government are all Nazis.
The government are all Nazis!
So, yeah, now, but not then. Paying attention to things. It's how we show love. This is my street too. Just let me love it the way I want to.
Seriously, what else are they doing right now?
Yeah.
And the clothing boutique.
The boutique. Are we hosting formal garden parties now?
No. But we are going to have friends. I've actually been talking to a nice woman on the radio.
You what?
Dwarf team!
Right?
Let's go!
Can you not, please? You know what? Let's go inside. Tess, I want to show you something.
Wait, they haven't finished eating yet.
Not inside.
Well, they did.
Oh, fair.
Frank!
This is a while ago. Because
Oh, yeah.
Joel's not gray yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, this is only 7 years
Mine.
after the outbreak.
So what, you were a prepper or something?
Survivalist.
There you go.
Maybe
Nailed
we
it.
are decent people. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. We're self-sufficient here.
But sooner or later, there'll be raiders. And they'll beat that fence and your tripwires. They'll come at night, quiet and armed.
We'll be fine.
I admire his confidence. I don't think I'd have that much.
I admire his ability to look post-apocalyptic chic.
Yeah. I think the flannel helps that a lot.
I love like the straight Willy Wonka hair with the rough beard. Listen, Nick Offerman, he can pull that off.
Just one more loop around. I got something to show you. Huh? Not that.
Ready?
Yes.
Strawberries.
Oh.
I traded Joel and Tess one of your guns for a packet of seeds.
Which gun?
A little one.
But wait, so like he planned all these and Bill didn't like walk around the house once to notice them?
Well, I don't think it's not just the house. They have like the whole neighborhood.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So I think they just picked the best spots for gardening, and then they garden there.
Oh, that's smart. I would still rinse those first though.
I mean, listen, when you're in the apocalypse.
All right, you're right. I'm sure they don't have all the same pesticides.
And listen. In my garden, I've eaten tomatoes and strawberries from the ground. It's
All right.
okay.
That's fair.
If it's organic, it's only dirt that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
What? Getting older faster than you.
I like you older. Older means we're still here.
I was never afraid before you showed up.
That's so sweet.
It is. Because he has something he could lose now.
Yeah.
No, I'm a strawberry.
No. Ominous music. Oh no.
Oh my God.
Bill! Get inside!
Oh my god, why would you come out?
I got you.
I mean, seriously, what are the odds that any of them are surviving that?
Hold your hand there for me. Hold your hand there.
Oh my god.
Frank!
I'm right here.
Frank!
I'm right here.
Leave the gas on!
I'm right
Leave the gas on.
right here.
The fence will kill the rest of them.
Okay, yep.
I made a list for you.
Uh-huh. Tell me about the list.
I have copies of all the keys.
Good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Joel,
Uh-huh.
you can't be here alone.
I'm not alone. You're here.
No. Call
No.
No.
Oh, call
It's
Joel.
okay. It's okay.
Call Joel. He'll take care of you.
No. No. Okay, it was a fake out. Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, in the present day, Joel was telling Ellie about both of them.
Okay.
Like,
Well, you know, I can never be too sure with this show, okay?
that's fair, that's fair.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
They grew old together.
Aww.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We'll get you warmed up.
Damn.
Both so talented.
They're smart, talented, and most of all, resourceful.
Man, Nick Offerman's a silver fox. The show is just full of daddies, huh? Chrysanthemum action.
Did you take your pills?
Oh, no.
One orangey. A little whitey. Big roundy.
Took most of the night. I'm exhausted.
God damn it.
That was creepy. Thought it was something out of a scary movie.
I
or
know,
something.
right?
I'm not fighting about it. Back in
I
bed.
promise you I'm gonna stay up.
Why?
Because this is my last day.
What?
What if we find a doctor? What if someone shows up who can help?
Who's coming, Bill? The door-to-door MRI salesman? There wasn't anything to cure this before the world fell apart. I've made up my mind.
There's just so much I want to say. I just don't want to interrupt the
Every
episode.
day was a wonderful gift from God speech. I've had a lot of bad days. I've had bad days with you, too. But I've had more good days with you than with anyone else. Just give me one more good day. Starting now, make me some toast. Then take me to the boutique where I'll pick outfits for us. You'll wear what I ask. We'll get married. And you cook a delicious dinner. Then you will crush all of these up, put them in my wine. I will drink it. Then you will take me by my hand, bring me to our bed, and I will fall asleep in your arms. Then love me the way I want you to.
This show has no chill, and I'm not okay with it. Oh, he made them the meal they had. The first time they met.
Rabbit.
Oh, and they did that thing. Now they sit next to each other. I guess they did that yesterday too, but...
Will it be enough?
Yeah.
Were there already pills in the bottle?
Enough to kill a horse.
I was just thinking
This isn't
that.
the tragic suicide at the end of the play.
Oh no.
I'm satisfied. And you were my purpose.
I do not support this. I should be furious. But from an objective point of view, it's incredibly romantic.
That's so dark.
Take me to bed.
Stay there. Bill? Frank? Stay there. You hear anything, you see anything, yell.
What if they're gone?
Ellie?
To whomever, but probably Joel. I figured I fell under whomever. Came with this.
So they're dead?
Mm-hmm. August 29, 2023. If you find this, please do not come into the bedroom. We left the window open so the house wouldn't smell, but it would probably be a sight. I'm guessing you found this, Joel, because anyone else would have been electrocuted or blown up by one of my traps. Take anything you need. The bunker code is the same as the gate code, but in reverse. Anyway, I never liked you. But still, it's like we're friends. Almost. And I respect you. So I'm gonna tell you something because you're probably the only person who'll understand. I used to hate the world, and I was happy when everyone died. But I was wrong, because there was one person worth saving. That's what I did. I saved him. Then I protected him. That's why men like you and me are here. We have a job to do. And God help any motherfuckers who stand in our way. I leave you all of my weapons and equipment. Use them to keep...
Poor Joel. Poor everybody. Poor me. Poor us. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves?
Show me your arm. I just finished making a truck battery. It's charging right now.
Okay.
I have a brother out in Wyoming. He's in some kind of trouble, and I'm heading out there to find him. He used to be a firefly. And my guess is he knows where some of them are out there. Maybe they can get you to wherever this lab is. Rule 1, you don't bring up Tess, ever. Matter of fact, we can just keep our histories to ourselves. Rule 2, you don't tell anyone about your condition. They see that bite mark, they won't think it through, they'll just shoot you. Rule 3, you do what I say when I say it. We clear?
Yes.
Repeat it.
What you say goes. Holy shit. This guy was a genius. Why was the music on?
If you didn't reset the countdown every few weeks, this playlist would run over the radio.
80s. Dude.
No.
Why does she want the biggest guns?
There's a wall of them.
Probably because it seems cool to her.
Yeah.
Needs another hour.
They have hot water. I'm taking a shower. And then you're showering. Seriously.
Just gonna find that little gun that Frank has.
Called it.
Perfectly sized for a middle-sized child.
Well, don't you look pretty?
Shut up.
Nice.
It's your first time in a car?
It's like a spaceship.
No, it's like a piece of shit Chevy S10, but it'll get us there.
How would she know that's like a spaceship, though?
She knows about things.
I know.
Seatbelt.
So cool.
Oh, no, wait. No, leave it. Leave it. Oh, this is good. This is Linda Ronstadt. Do you know who Linda Ronstadt is?
You know I don't know who Linda Ronstadt is.
Is it bad that I don't know who Linda Ronstadt is?
I don't either. I wouldn't feel that bad.
It's better than nothing.
Are we ever gonna have an episode where I could just like finish watching it and I feel okay?
No.
like I was like, oh, like watching the trailer for the series, I'm like, wow, so many guest stars, like Nick Offerman, Anna Torv, and they're all just gone. Boom, gone. What are we doing? What are we doing here, guys? I can't keep this. Like, I could barely talk this episode. I was so emotionally invested in this love story, this tragic love story.
I'm just so exhausted.
I'm emotionally exhausted right now.
Like, what even is there to really say that isn't self-evident beyond belief?
I mean, there's some things like I want to talk about. Like, there's obviously there's definitely stuff we could talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, there's the very obvious, like, I really love how like they told again, like this show does a really great job of telling you things without showing you, without like hitting you over the head with things. Like like as Bill and Frank get older, you know, Frank's influence starts to flow through the house more. There's pictures painted, and the house is clean, it's well kept. You know, when he walks in, because it's just like you take this pre-existing image you have of Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson, this very burly, manly man, and then you meet him in this episode as, you know, Bill, and he's doing Nick Offerman things, chopping wood, he's checking, he's tactical gear, you know, he's a survivalist. And then you introduce Frank. And Frank is Frank is, in your mind, you perceive him as a one-dimensional character. You know, like cowardly, just not very not very good survival instincts, you know, softer of the two. And then they have this dinner. And then you see Bill become more tense, like he tensens up and he's like nervous, and you see someone who was so skilled for the first part of the episode immediately crumble as a human being. And it's so beautiful. Right. It really is, to see that dynamic shift.
Well, I mean, he kind of encapsulated it the most, to where he outright was okay with the rest of humanity dying off, and he was never afraid of anything until he had Frank, because that gave him like something to actually live for meaningfully.
That's so beautiful, and that story and that alone is beautiful. But I would like to add on to what I was saying, like Bill. Basically, the summation of what I was saying is Bill is a survivalist. He's very skilled one way, and then Frank, on paper, may not look like he thrives in this apocalypse. He brings things to the table that Bill didn't know he needed. Mm-hmm. And this relationship between the two of them, which I think is such a good call to do at episode 3, to have this, really, for the most part, this, you know, this...
It's in a vacuum kind of
this episode way? In a vacuum. It's not really a filler episode because it's very important to the plot. If you think about it, it's very important to the arc that Joel is going on.
I think it's just, first of all, it's an excellent depiction of world building, just in a very different way than we've seen. And frankly, it's like it's amazing, like everything else. So it's like, even if you would call it filler, it's like, I don't mind, because it's a fantastic story in its own right. But it's also, again, it's kind of just, we have the through line of Joel and Ellie, but we also are just kind of examining this kind of world for what it is.
Yeah, and I think that it was smart to have this episode as number 3, because the first 2 episodes, we really saw the shittiest parts of humanity.
We saw the shittiest parts. We had to spend the time with Joel and Ellie because that's who we are still following.
I mean, we have the soldier who was tasked with executing Sarah. We have, we had all of the terrible people in the beginning of that first episode and the end of the first episode. We have in the second episode, we had the introduction, which showed us like, oh, we just gotta bomb everybody. And then we have that part and we'll talk about that, like how they reversed kind of the prologues in this episode. And we have that moment where Joel's like, yeah, they were rounding people up and they were killing them. And that's why they have the whole town to themselves, because they killed everyone else in the town. They put them in a pit and killed them. So to have this episode introduce us to Bill and Frank, who have this tender love and really encompass what's so beautiful about humanity, in the sense of how strong our will is, how our condition to love is what separates us from other things, and to protect the things we love and to choose love over, all things. It's really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And we have this beauty in the apocalypse, like this beautiful story, because Bill and Frank, they didn't just survive, they thrived.
Yeah.
In this, because they had each other.
They had each other, and they take things for granted, and what's so interesting is Frank is kind of the antithesis of the people who are alluding towards, like, you could say he was taking advantage of his environment but for kind of a positive, constructive reason. Like, he appreciated it all, and I don't want to say he took advantage, but like you said, he thrived in it in his own weird way.
Oh yeah, he just survived. But here's what I'm trying to say. Frank survived. Bill survived. I'm saying Frank, but I mean Bill. Bill survived. But when Bill met Frank,
he was living.
Bill lived.
Yeah.
And there's something so beautiful. We were both so engrossed with this story because it was after all of the ups and downs and roller coasters we've been through with this show so far. There was something, and there's it really poetic, beautiful, to just show us this tender, this one day in the life, years in the life, but realistically for us, it's this moment in time we spent with these two people. It shows us that, yeah, there's things worth fighting for in this world. And I think that's so great because 3 episodes in, we're starting with the Joel in episode 3, who kind of is dead on the inside.
Yeah.
He really doesn't even want to protect Ellie. He's doing it as a favor to Tess. Mm-hmm. And I think that letter at the end, to show like Bill did this all for love, and it's just like, hey, I would do this all for one person that's worth protecting. Like, and I know you're that guy. I know you're that guy. As much as you don't think you're that guy, like, you're that guy. So that's why I think this episode is important to the overall story too, because Joel really shows more interest in helping Ellie,
Mm-hmm. And that's what's so wonderful is the fact that, like, if this was just a completely standalone, divorce from the main narrative story, I think it would still be really good. But I think that way they've connected those themes together was it felt natural and not forced, and it just helped to reinforce those things.
But what's wild about it is take out that prologue and I say prologue and episode, epilogue, but take out the beginning of the episode and end of the episode, and give us just the Bill and Frank stuff. It's a beautiful short film.
Okay, I have to say something. Not that I'm necessarily saying that they're like super, super similar, but like I had beginning of Up vibes in terms of like the emotion I felt.
You know what? Yes, you're right. It's like Up if Up was darker than it already was. It's like the beginning of Up. If the beginning of Up went one step further,
it was in the apocalypse.
If Up was in the apocalypse and Carl then killed himself when Ellie died.
I know. But like, and that's the thing, it's so difficult to articulate, but it's like, it's the same kind of emotions. And you know what, I hate to admit it because I love Up so freaking much, but like, I think because of the level of emotion we had in Frank and Bill, I think it hit even harder for that reason.
It hits hard. I mean, listen, any well-told story, and I think Up is a fantastic film because in that prologue, it tells a story, and it makes you care. And anytime you can make the viewers care, which this show continually does, and continually gives us the middle finger for caring, it really elicits an emotional response from your audience when, something does happen. And yeah, while it was so tragic the way they went, I don't think it's nearly as tragic as Tess or Sarah because they lived.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
It's not like they didn't survive.
Right.
They lived a beautiful life together.
They lived a life together on their own terms, and I hate phrasing it this way. They also went out on their own terms.
They went out on. You're right. And in this world, it's not the world. It's not the world we live in now. It's not. There's not nearly a silver lining for every situation. I think theirs is as silver a lining as you can have.
It's literally the most uplifting. Like, the fact that they went, what was it, like a total of 16 years, and they had each other. They were able to live the way they wanted. They made friends from the outside, and other than, from what we saw, at least Bill's injury when he got shot, it's like, damn.
It was hell of an episode, so powerful. I think the messages here, like humanity, like like Bill and Frank, man, it's just I think this episode was really trying to tell us there's things out there worth saving.
And I won't lie, I think the whole series has been great. I think I might consider this to be such a rewatchable episode in particular.
Absolutely. There's so much stuff that I think we missed. Like I said, like the more the time jumps in the episode, the more like stuff there is to see in the house. Because that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying they live. Like we see all the paintings that Frank did of Bill. We saw the flowers that Bill started keeping. Bill went from being this bunker rat, just staying in a bunker, to tending
a garden,
chrysanthemums, to growing chrysanthemums and taking care of them, to having plants inside the house. And he did that for Frank, and it's so beautiful. It really is beautiful to show how because it's so interesting because the show is all about a horrible fungal infection. And how that grows inside of all of us and spreads and roots and into each other. But this really showed how two people can have that same effect on each other. They interweaved each other into each other's lives. And it's really beautiful. There's something so poetic. I can't describe it yet because I really have to sit on this episode. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. It's fantastically written and acted. But all that keeps coming to mind is how beautiful and symbolic and poetic this is about the human condition, about love, about humanity, about our ability to overcome anything. And I think it's so damn good. I love this show.
I do too.
I just wish it would make me feel good. I wish one episode, like, there would just be, like, at the end of the episode, it's just like, Ellie has a soda, and she's like, wow, I never had soda before. That's great. Episode ends.
I was gonna say, to be fair, she's at least had a good number of those moments, and those in of themselves, at least, are a minor bright spot, but they're just very few and far between.
It's just so heavy. Such a heavy show.
Oh, I know. It's like, you need a palate cleanser after this.
Jeez. I don't even know what I need after this. I need...
some stupid YouTube video.
I need therapy. We all need therapy after this. I don't know. I'm emotionally exhausted.
Same.
I'll probably have more to say on this later, but I think that's all I can say for right now. This episode was a trip. Nikki, is there anything else you want to add?
It's just beautiful. Like, again, I feel like so much of it was, there's so much symbolism, but it's also like it's also non-pretentious, and like it's also like it's so clear like what kind of story they're telling, and it's all the better for it.
Absolutely. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of our latest content, like watching us emotionally damage ourselves by watching The Last of Us. And Nikki, where can the people find you?
The least important part of this episode, but you can find me on Twitter at EgglordNikki.
And you guys can find me on all the socials at the Montyverse. I'll be there crying after this episode and thinking about life and love and just being emotionally distraught until
And what I was gonna say, and what wines to pair rabbit with.
Yeah, now we know what. If you're wondering, now we know what wine to pair your rabbit with. So until next time, guys, stay versed.